Good morning. I'm State Senator Katie Muth. I'm honored to stand alongside the people behind me here today who are advocating for this incredibly important issue and all the issues really surrounding what our country and certainly Pennsylvania is facing in terms of dramatic, horrific changes in our immigration policies. Thank you, Kate, for the introduction, and again to all the advocates across the Commonwealth. And you all did such a great job talking about this legislation. I don't think I need to be redundant, but I do want to touch on something that I think is really important, is that if you think that this just happens, these ICE raids and people being literally kidnapped is just a city issue, or it's just an issue in certain parts of the state, Senate District 44 is parts of 3 counties, Chester, Berks, and Montgomery, and the number of times that I've received phone calls from teachers whose parents were detained after dropping their kids off at school is becoming quite a high number, which is completely unacceptable, which makes me really sad to think that kids and teachers and whether they're immigrant children or not is irrelevant, that there are children watching this happen and their friends don't come back to class and they're just gone. Senate Bill 1125, I want to commend the school districts across the state that have already actually adopted this without state legislation, but obviously having it as a state bill, it would take a lot of political pressure off of districts who may want to do this, but also fear having a lot of unnecessary and aggressive public comment at their school board meetings. The Welcoming Schools Law obviously would require school districts to implement procedures for responding to immigration enforcement at schools, but keeping school a safe place. I think the previous speakers did a phenomenal job describing what school is supposed to be, and it should not be a place where you sit for hours upon end living in fear and having anxiety. Every single child in this Commonwealth deserves and has the right to feel safe and valued, and to have the ability to learn in Pennsylvania schools, no matter who they are and where they came from or what language they speak at home. According to ICE reports, we know that, according to reports, ICE arrests are average 746 people per day in 2025. Do you know how many families that is? Do you know how many lives that has wrecked? I also want to just highlight that while we have 2 pieces of legislation, you're really going to have to make a lot of phone calls to the Senate to get this House or Senate bill to move, and I think that it's doable, but we have to keep the pressure on because there are people in their districts as well that are impacted by this. And again, want to thank all of my colleagues and supporters here. And it's time that we pass this welcoming schools policy into state law and ensure that every Pennsylvania student, regardless of where they were born or what language they speak, they have the chance to learn in a safe environment and feel that they are welcomed and valued. So thank you again, and thank you for having me speak today.